Today I'm attacking the power steering pump on the Audi TT. It's been making a funny noise for a while, and it makes the noise all the time, not just when I'm turning. And I had checked the fluid level a few weeks back, and it was fine, which led me to believe that there was a problem with the pump, not a problem with a lack of lubrication. But when I looked at it this morning, so I was going to drain it, there's nothing in there at all. So there's clearly a leak in the system. I can't see where it is. It's impossible to access the steering rack because that's at the back of the engine, kind of buried in there. But as far as I can see, there's no leak around there. And the engineers who designed this car obviously did not think about any kind of maintenance at all. It is just, everything is just so packed in there. I've taken the plastic covers off, and I'll show you this. I've taken the plastic covers off on the underside, and also I've taken the wheel arch cover off, and then there's another cover there, and here is the power steering pump. Now you have to take that pulley off in order to be able to get at the bolts, I believe. And so while there's tension on the accessory belt, I have loosened those bolts. But the next problem is you have to take the tension off the accessory belt, and you can't even see it. It's all buried underneath the intake pipe. So that's got to come off. And then there's a connector and a Banjo bolt, which need to come off the pump. I have no clue how I'm going to access those. So anyway, first things first. Actually, it's second things first, because I've already taken those covers off. Let's get the intake off and see if we can get hold of that tensioner and take the belt off. So this is the tensioner here. So what you have to do is pull this piece back, and then there is a hole here where you can put something in to hold it, probably a special Audi part. But I have an old Allen key, which will do fine. Now all I've got to do is figure out that these hoses in the way, I don't want to take all these hoses off, how to pull that back. So I'll check in a minute. Right, so that was fun. How I finally did this, not sure how well you can see there, but a 17mm socket will fit over that, and that's what you need to use to turn the tensioner to get the tension off the belt. And then this is an old Allen key that goes through this hole and this hole, and that's it, done. There's got to be an easier way of doing that. So now if we look in here, the tension's off the belt and the belt comes off. So let's move that out the way. And as I mentioned before, I loosened the bolts on the pulley. So those will come off easily. And of course, the pulley won't come off easily. These things never do. Anyway, let's have a look. Oh, look at that. Pulley just came straight off, and these are the bolts that hold it in, and we have to get this Banjo fitting off and this sensor off there, so that's going to take a little bit of thinking. Well, that was interesting to get off. So there's a little tab that you can get at from above, and what I did was I pushed the screwdriver down to release the tab. So I pushed that down from the top, and then of course the plug wouldn't come off, but with a little bit of persuasion with a hammer and a screwdriver just to push it off, and it popped off. So we're done. That's the difficult bit done. Now we've got to undo these bolts here and take off this Banjo fitting, and then that will pee hydraulic fluid everywhere. Well, the sensor you can get off. I'm not sure if you can see that there. Managed to get the sensor off with a 22-inch deep socket and some extensions and a U-join. This is not easy, but that should come out by hand now. Let's see. There's just enough room to get your left hand down there. Not entirely sure what this sensor does. Pressure. I wasn't getting a warning light. That's the sensor, and that's the little clip that holds the connector on. So just getting that. As I said, just push a screwdriver down the front and then it will come off, but it was a little stubborn because it's been on there for a while. Anyway, that's done. Now we have to put the car up in the air again and attack that banjo bolt. Actually, the banjo bolt I might be able to get at from above. I'll have an investigate and I'll let you know. Right, so I was able to crack off this bolt from up top, so that can be now removed by hand. And bear in mind to put something underneath. Because I forgot. And even though my reservoir was empty, there was still oil in the system. So now I've got a mess on the floor. But anyway, that's the hard bit done. We'll take off that banjo fitting, and that enables us to access the bolts to take the pump off, and we can just unbolt it and put the new one in. Simple as that. The hardest part about this is just figuring out what to do and how to get at everything. It's a little tricky to get at that banjo fitting, in particular the sensor that's on top of it. But it's doable if you persevere. So there are 4 13mm bolts, as far as I can see. When I looked on the pump, it actually looked like there's a 5th hole for one, but there's 1, 2, 3. Those are all 13mm, and then there's another one at the back, which I have loosened. And as you can see, this one doesn't come all the way out because this thing's in the way. So I don't know if I've got to loosen that. We'll try and get this puppy out. And I believe that's everything. And then we just need to take off this, and that's going to make a mess everywhere as well. So you have to remove this clamp. There is enough flex in this that if you put just like a socket extension behind here and just gently lever it away, there is enough room to get this bolt out. So now all we got to do is put the new pump in, nice and shiny. China's best. Anyway, let's get this in place and see if it fits. So fitting the new power steering pump is very straightforward. Those bolts have gone in, they're not tight yet. The one on the back is in, not tight. And I am just going to hand start the banjo bolt. And I want to be very careful with that because it's one of these hollow bolts that has the sensor going through it. So you can't over tighten it. I think it's 38 Newton meters, but I will check that. And 38 Newton meters is 28 pounds-feet. Anyway, tighten all these down and let's crack on. Just make sure you tighten this one before you put the banjo bolt back on, because there's like a little clip that comes over this one, presumably to stop it backing out. Who knows? Anyway, all done. Just got to put the banjo bolt back in and that damn sensor, and we'll be good to go. So there we go, accessory belt back in place. Those 3 bolts are just hand tightened for the moment. I need to take the tension off the accessory belt, and I did put a little bit of green thread locker on. And this is a good time to check the condition of the belt. This one looks fine, no cracks or pieces missing. So we're all done. Excellent job. One thing I did notice under here, lots of oil. Wasn't aware of that. Looks like it's probably coming from the oil pan gasket, so that's going to be a job in the very near future. So all that remained after that was to bleed the system, and I filled it up with this stuff. It's green, and it is CHF 11S, CHF 202, and CHF 7.1. It's the power steering fluid that Audi and Porsche, and I think BMW use it as well. That's what's recommended in the system. So it's just a matter of filling it up, and you'll see a lot of bubbles come out as it works its way through the system. And then before turning the engine on, I turned the steering wheel slowly from lock to try and get some of the air out, and then switch the engine on, which makes the pump run, and again turn the steering wheel from side to side, and it will bleed itself. And before putting all the plastic pieces back on, check for leaks. Obviously there weren't any. I took it out for a test drive, and no more noise, and no feeling of crunching. So all in all, I think that's a success. Couple of comments. Sticking the screwdriver down inside that connector apparently was not a good idea. It broke it. So now that does not snap into place. At the moment it's just placed on there. I'm going to have to get another connector and rewire that. And you really don't need to take the plastic under the wheel arch out. I did that, well, one, because I hadn't done it before and didn't know how much I needed to take off, but two, it gave just a little bit more room to be able to see everything. But you can just take out the panel that covers where the pulleys are. So, is that a straightforward job? It was once I figured everything out. Barclay, you're an idiot. He just surprised himself by knocking over. He knocked over the bin with all the parts from Lemon's car. So, as I was saying, is that a difficult job? Not really. There aren't many videos out there telling you how to do it. So most of it was spending time figuring out how on earth you get at stuff. Taking the plastic under tray off, there are so many screws. That took a while. And it's just getting at the Banjo bolt and being able to loosen that off. It's not very tight. So once you can uncrack it with a 22 mil long socket, it's easy to get off. It's just getting at it that's very difficult. Actually changing the power steering pump itself is very straightforward. That bit of it, once I got into it and got everything disconnected, probably took 5 minutes. Untensioning the tensioner is a bit of a faff. As I said, I did it with a socket on an extension. That worked great. Just make sure you got something sturdy to put through the holes to hold it. Interestingly enough, to put it back into place, or to get the Allen key out, the socket wouldn't provide enough force, so I actually put a pair of vice grips on it, which worked just as well. And they're just a little fiddly to get at. So that's that. That is changing the power steering pump on a Mark 1 Audi TT. I hope you got this far, and if you did, I hope it was helpful, and see you next time. Cheers.